So I'm out in the woods again. Gonna try for the third time to put a line in. Maybe at least pretend to try to catch a fish. What just kind of popped into my head as I'm walking is a topic that came up a couple days ago, and two separate YouTubers were talking about the same thing. And I would have thought that maybe they put it out on the same day, and that's weird, but I think one of them put it out a few days before. Could have been, maybe it triggered something in the other one to create something similar. But I wanted to talk about it because I have seen it over and over, but not so much in people that would consider themselves creators. I think that's a prevalent problem in the YouTube creator community already, and that's what these two folks were talking about, is getting to the point where you're knocking out videos left and right, and then you're looking around and seeing other people that are getting more views, more likes, more comments, all the things, the feedback that is important to human beings. That's what really they addressed. What I would rather address is the idea of imposter syndrome as a way to prevent you from ever putting out your first video. That's what I see most often. I see people go out, and I've commented this many times. I think probably everybody that's bought a camera in the last 5 or 6 years, video camera, with the intent to make a video, record their adventure, record their trip, record something other than, kids playing ball. People don't seem to have a problem with that. I don't know why. You go buy a camera, you go record your kids, you don't share it. That's a typical problem. But I've always assumed that not sharing it was a technical issue. In other words, people get to the point where, okay, yeah, I want to put this on Facebook or so, and they get stopped for some kind of technical reason. So that's a separate issue. I don't want to talk about that today. I want to talk about the folks that don't share and stop recording. The thing that I see most often is, people in my community, the motorcycling crowd, or the people that are doing adventures of some sort out in the woods, out in nature, stuff like this, where they go out and buy $400, $500, $600, $800 worth of equipment, strap it to their head like I have, or their chest, or a helmet, or a selfie stick, and they go out and click record. And at some point, they stop. They stop clicking record. There's several different types of people. The people that go out and buy the equipment and never leave home with it, that's a small group. I don't see a lot of that, but they're out there. They go buy the equipment and realize what a hassle it is setting up all this equipment, and then maybe deciding it's getting in their way of having fun, and I understand that. I wished you'd donate that equipment to somebody that could use it, but GoPro has a pretty good strategy that just like all the people that are painting pictures of that dream that you could be living. But that's not the people I'm worried about. I'm worried about the other two categories. The people that record a few times and quit, and the other category, the people that record a lot and never share it. So in other words, they click record, they go do their thing, they come back, and they may or may not watch it on TV, on their computer, but they never share it. They never get to the point where, and maybe I'm just confused, maybe that was never their intent. Maybe their intent was to go record themselves and watch it on their TV. I don't understand that, but it would be helpful if those people ever said just once, hey, I didn't get all this equipment to share with other people. I just wanted to watch myself. Okay, that's fair. I've just never heard that. So, oh, hey, what the heck was that? You just flew onto me, hit me in the chest. That is really weird. I don't recognize you, which makes you even weirder. You're not a bee. You're a beetle. Hey. Remind me of those clicking beetles out west. I don't even know what you call those. You don't like to be manhandled, I could tell. All right, I'm going to leave you alone. So, anyway, those two categories concern me because I just wonder. And I assume that it's something very similar to what I was describing as imposter syndrome. I got it. Either my pictures don't look as good as I hope they would, or what I'm doing doesn't look as good. Either I don't know how to use this camera well, or people are going to make fun of me, or something like that. I don't know which one it is, but honestly, they both concern me. I think it's the latter. I think it's people. I don't look like the people on TV, or the people, or my friends who do the same thing, or something. I think that's the issue. So therefore, I think most of the people that fall into that category are suffering from imposter syndrome. I think this is where I'm going. This looks like maybe the best kept secret. So how am I going to help people overcome imposter syndrome, or whatever the heck this is? I think maybe identifying what the true problem is maybe the first step. I've just never been able to do that. I've always offered to help people get started. Let's go shoot. Let's go try some stuff out. Let's go practice. Let's do. And I've gotten a consistent no, thank you. And I don't know if that says more about them or says more about me. Maybe I'm just too pushy. Maybe nobody wants my help. I don't know. But I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame that people could be sharing. I mean, look at this stuff that I'm doing right now. This is complete and total crap. I'm just sharing my thoughts, but think about that. I'm sharing my thoughts, not in front of a computer screen, out in front of nature. And, hopefully I may be motivating people to get out and do some hiking themselves. Because this is something that everybody that's not in a wheelchair can do. And you would think that more people would be interested in it. I wonder what the heck's going on down here. This is a big pile of dookie that looks like it's been trampled a lot, maybe by deer. It's very, very soft and mushy. I wonder where all this came from. So I thought this might have been the best place because it looked like it was the most shaded, but it may be the worst place. We don't know till we get out here. I'm just trying to think of the easiest place to get down to the river instead of coming down something like this, because there's a lot of this out here. A lot of this. So back to imposter syndrome and how to, I'm trying to think what these two said. I think they were just addressing it and maybe giving, from what I remember, maybe they were just giving a motivational talk. I think maybe it might be more important to identify it first and see if you're actually suffering from imposter syndrome. But most likely that would require a lot of self-examination and thought from people that, wow, look at all this trash. I mean, this is the stuff that washes downstream. My first thought when I saw this is this trashy river folk that are throwing stuff out of their boat as they're going down the river, but it's just, it's stuff floating downstream from 50, 100 miles up north, and it just winds up down here, falling into a slough. So yeah, self-examination. Yeah, it's going to require that. It's going to require folks sitting back and going, why have I never published anything? Why have I never taken that next step? Why did I record 50, 100 hours of my adventures and never do anything with it? You know, I really hope that it would be something not as ridiculous as imposter syndrome, but that's my most likely guess, is they don't feel like there's anything important about what they're saying or doing, and they're opening themselves up to ridicule. That's what I'm guessing is the 90% of the problems, at least from the people that I've witnessed. The risk is greater than the reward. The chances of them getting the acclaim and the acknowledgement from the universe that they were hoping for, the possibility of that acclaim and acknowledgement has been overridden by their fear of suffering from ridicule. I think that's going to be my thesis. My thesis is it didn't turn out like they had hoped, in combination with it's difficult. This learning curve is difficult. Combination in addition to I'm afraid I'm not going to be accepted with my product. I'm exposing myself to the world, and you know, it makes me wonder if that's why most people don't share anything at all. And I've run into so many people in the last few years that are terrified to be on camera, terrified of you putting this camera in front of their face. They must have had a really bad experience. That's my guess. Now, I think I found the perfect damn spot. Probably should have brought my damn chair. Ooh, yeah. No, this is cool. I bet I can catch some fish in here too, especially in the shade. I bet there's some fish down in there. What you want to bet? All right. Let me put my fishing gear together. So I cut a good bit of the video out just because it was, it was just me casting back and forth, and I didn't cast everything from this one spot, but there was only a couple of, well, maybe 3 spots to cast from that didn't have limbs in the way. But more importantly, the whole imposter syndrome thing, maybe that's being a little bit dramatic for the situation that I'm trying to describe, because the people that were talking about it that I was watching were talking about creators, you know, people that spend a good amount of time and effort and creativity to build something interesting and unique. But that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that had an idea about sharing an experience or thoughts or anything. Maybe they never had any illusions about being some YouTube personality. They just wanted to share some stuff. That's kind of how I started. I wanted to share stuff. And not like I'm a big YouTuber now or anything like that, but you know, I've got pretty consistent viewers now. And I feel pretty comfortable with where I'm at. I think most of my views, or most of my videos, get a few hundred viewers. Some of them get a few thousand. Over time, some of them get many thousands, but I'm okay with all that. But most importantly, I'm not afraid to share. I mean, this is about as personal as I get right here, is talking about personal experiences and interactions with other people. This is a bit uncomfortable for me, but I think it's important. I want to share this video with a few people that I've tried to encourage to record their thoughts and their adventures and things like that. It's become so easy nowadays that there's no real excuse for people not to. And I would suggest that you try it and just send an unpublished link. In other words, at least on YouTube, you can share a link to your video that the rest of the world can't see. You can send it to friends and family, only the people that you want to see it and react to it. Sure has cooled off. Got me something. Hell yes. Nice fish. Look at that. Look at you. See if I can get this hook out of your mouth. Without getting it stuck in mine. You might be able to survive. There you go. All right. Ain't that a hell of a note? I'm gonna call that mission accomplished. I caught me a fucking fish. Hope I got that on video, because ain't nobody gonna believe me. What the hell would I have done with a real fish? Ugh. I'm gonna call that mission accomplished. I caught me a fucking fish. Hope I got that on video, because ain't nobody gonna believe me. What the hell would I have done with a real fish? Ugh. Now that was quite enjoyable. Well, you know, come to think of it, I think that may have been my first bass. You know, that's, I've caught crappie, I've caught trout, catfish, but I've known lots of bass fishermen. I don't think I've ever been fishing with one, maybe, other than my brother. My dad, I really don't remember fishing for bass with my dad. I'm not sure he was a good fisherman anyway. So, yeah, should be pretty excited if that was my first bass. I just really don't remember catching one ever. Probably because I've always fishing with crappie and trout and seafood. Well, not really sure where I left off on the whole imposter syndrome, but I would hope that anybody that is attempted to capture their thoughts, their experiences, or even others on camera, I would hope that you would redouble your efforts and make another attempt. I would like to say that I may not be like the rest of the world in that I've given up on worrying about what other people think of me. But I mean, that's not really true. I'm probably not as hung up on it as a lot of people. I don't worry about, well, I was going to say I don't worry about how my hair looks, but that's not even true. I don't want to scare people off with my scary morning dew. But, I mean, as a rule, I don't really care. Man, am I that far off the trail? It's a good thing. It's a good thing I can navigate by the sky. Yeah, it's gonna be right up there. In fact, all I really got to do is just walk straight up the hill. There's a critter hole. Doesn't look like it's been used in a while, but it's a critter hole. So, yeah, I'm a little bit more thick-skinned than most people, which allows me to express myself via a video camera. And the whole blogging thing, video blogging, as a whole, as a piece of my career or my catalog, is very recent. It's a very recent, you know, I've been shooting video for, golly, 34 years. Is that right? More than that. 86, 14, 34 years. So I have been shooting video since the mid-80s. Had my own camera, one of the first consumer video cameras to hit the market. May have been the second or third, but pretty first generation 480. back then. So I've been doing it that long, but most of the time I've been shooting other things. Been shooting other people talking. And that's been just fine for me. I've done some in front of the camera stuff, but it was almost never talking to the camera. It was almost always performing. I was doing some kind of skit. Acting. Being honest in front of the camera. Talking about issues. Whew, no, that's... Let me think. Yeah, that's when it's after I hit the road. Any consistency at all, it was 2015. It was just 5 years ago. But I had to tell the story. And I'm certain... No, I'm not. I was trying to think of who I modeled my blogging style on, but it wasn't from YouTube. It was from Survivor Man. 'Cause he was telling a story. Not so much about his feelings, but more about the situation. More about what he was thinking in the situation. But, you know, reacting, which maybe he was one of the original reaction videos. But most of his stuff, I'm thinking, started before YouTube. A lot of it's on YouTube now, but... Alright. Accomplished not one, but 2 goals. Somebody has been down here on a 4-wheeler, and I think since I turned that corner, I would have seen that. Interesting. So my 2 goals, throw a line in, get some exercise. Third bonus, get out in nature, get my head straight. Yeah, it was 4 o'clock. Yeah, I needed a break. I need to get some exercise. And by God, I need to catch a fish. All right, so to wrap things up, get out there and shoot some stuff. Put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram. Share the link with a few people. See what they say.